That's got to be rough, going to comedy at 5 in the afternoon. I hate it. I don't even like going on stage at 7 and the sun is out.
Yeah, it's different. It
bothers the fuck out of me. And even though you're inside a dark place, I still know it's fucking light outside.
Sometimes you're not there. There's windows.
You can't.
Have you ever been in a club with windows?
I want to do comedy when it's dark out and you can get mugged. That's I want to do comedy when half of you are in there because you're fucking petrified of the streets. You're gonna come in there with Uncle Joey and the security at the comedy club, so nobody bothers you. I swear to God, these edibles, I must have had some mushroom juice left over in my system from the weekend, and these edibles set these motherfuckers off. I'm seeing things. I'm hearing things.
What are you seeing?
2 of yous with a little guy behind you with a stick. I don't know what I'm seeing. I'm seeing things. You know what I'm saying? You ever see things, but you don't tell nobody? I got the balls to tell people. I'm seeing things, all right? I advise you leave now or dial 911.
Jesus Christ.
How was your comedy? What did you learn? What did you not learn? You had the 5 o'clock show. You did well. You called. You checked in. And then you went up there and destroyed the 8 o'clock.
It was a fun night. I got to feature unexpectedly. The first show I did 10, and the second show I did 20.
Good for you, Lee.
Yeah, I thought I was going to do like a 5-minute set, and it's a really cool place in Foxborough. It's like for like a booker who has a lot of clubs, and it's I got it a day before, which is like at my level, no one calls me 2 weeks, like only a couple people. Usually it's like, can you do something tomorrow? So that was exciting. And, it was a fun night. And I thank you. Like there was like 5 people between both shows that came out from the podcast. So that was very cool. It was a lot of fun.
People love to see you in the beginning so they could say, I knew you back when. From my conversations with you, I was thinking about this the other night after I spoke to you on Saturday night. My conversations with you really enlightened me to the fact that how much in love you are with comedy.
Oh, yeah.
We fucked around and we make tapes when we call and shit, but we have to be really high on the same night to make those funny fucking calls. But I've noticed that 80% of our calls now are basically focused on comedy. And it's really inspiring to see. And it makes me believe what I've always believed about comics starting out. That the best education you get is in your backyard and working outward. Like you stay and then you spread. It's like COVID when the fucking guy went skiing and he landed in Jersey and he fucked up that Bergen County town. Same thing. It's just really weird to see that when I lived in LA along with you, we met so many people that went out there in their second year, and it's ballsy. It's ballsy as shit. But like I don't know. To get back to the conversation, it's just really impressive to see how much you're into it. Because you and I both know we ran into a lot of people that I love doing comedy. I want to do this and I want to do that. And a week later, they're not doing nothing.
Right.
2 weeks later, we'd see them, and they're not doing what they told us they were going to do. And we talk about it like, wow, so it's really nice to see a guy that works as hard as you.
I appreciate it, but I learned a lot. Like when I met you, I didn't want to be on the podcast. Like we didn't fight about it, but you're like, no, I was just a fan of stand-up, and like getting to meet all the comics that I got to meet on the church. I got to be in the room with the top comedians of like the last 20 years. And I've always liked going to shows. I've just learned so much with that time we had in LA that I don't want to be someone who someone goes to see and they say, oh, he was just with Joey. He wasn't that funny. Like I really, because people give me shit and that's fine, but I want to actually be a good comic. That's my goal. Like someone like that people not respect. I don't like that word, but like acknowledge like, hey, he's at least doing comedy, like he's actually doing it.
You know, everybody always thinks that people can help you. Like I'm just gonna jump in and make a call to Warner Brothers and tell them that, you know, I lived through that also, you know, with The Longest Yard and Spider-Man. It was always this guy called for you. Nobody called. I wanted a room with 20 gorillas and audition. If somebody
Right.
did call, which nobody ever did, it would just be in my support to go, hey, he's a good actor and a good guy or whatever the fuck, you know. But nobody ever did that. I earned those roles. I
Oh yeah,
earned
you
my toughest roles. So, and I always wanted to prove myself also. You got to prove yourself and people got to see it. You have to, your attitude has to be contagious when you're a comic. These comics go home and they fucking talk shit and they get bitter. You know, like they get bitter. No, you got to be involved. You got to fucking, and that's what you're doing. You got to be able to talk to Bill Burr and you got to be able to talk to Fingerless Joe, who does the open mic on Tuesday nights, who's fucking a great writer, but he's missing a finger on stage and he's ashamed of it or whatever. You know, you're going to run into all those people. But at the end of the day, 20 years later, I cherish all those fucking things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm done with those memories. Like I can't tell you year by year, but I can tell you that something inspired me along the way. And just got to put great people around you, a couple open micers that are good people, and you create a little fucking community in Boston. And you don't need to go to LA. You're getting
right.
more from what you're learning in that area than what you would get from rushing to Los Angeles with your nose wide open.
And there's something that's like really been nice. Like there's like, people can complain about a lot of shit, but something that has been very nice about comedians has been like how helpful other because like there's been so many comics who will put in a good word for me somewhere or ask me to be on their show, and it's just like you would think there'd be a lot more hate, and I'm sure there's a lot of hate, and I'm sure I get because this. I just want to say one quick thing. I am aware that like totally get shows that at my level, at like year level, I wouldn't have got or shouldn't like because I do get a little bit of a bump up in a lot of scenarios. So like that's part of the reason why I work hard. I just wanted like people because
You
people are like he
understand your resume has the Comedy Store in Hollywood on it, has the Comedy Store in La Jolla,
that's great.
Zanies on it. You got, I don't
I
know how
got
many you have on
the
it.
improv. I got the
Yeah,
Wilbur.